Begin Purpose Podcast, Episode 1. Begin again today. The quiet power of starting over. Welcome to the very first episode of the Begin Purpose Podcast. I'm glad you're here. Whether you found this because you are standing at the edge of a life transition, rebuilding after something difficult, questioning who you are becoming, or simply sensing that there has to be more to life than moving through the motions, this space was created for you. This podcast is an extension of Begin Purpose, a platform, a philosophy, and more than anything, an invitation. An invitation to pause, to reflect, to begin again. Not someday, not when life is perfect, not when every doubt disappears, but today. Because one of the most powerful truths we can learn is this: you do not have to be finished to begin. You do not have to have all the answers to take the next right step. You do not have to become someone entirely new overnight in order to choose a new direction. Sometimes purpose does not arrive like lightning. Sometimes it begins as a whisper, a quiet thought that says, "I cannot keep living this way. There is something more I want to become. Maybe it is time to start again." That quiet moment, almost invisible to everyone else, can become the beginning of an entirely different life. And that is why Begin Purpose exists. Begin Purpose was created around a simple but deeply human question. Who are you today? Not who were you 10 years ago. Not who do other people expect you to be. Not who have you been forced to become because of survival, responsibility, failure, or fear. But who are you today? What matters to you now? What values do you want to live from now? What are you carrying that no longer belongs in the life ahead of you? So many people reach a point where they feel disconnected from themselves. They may have built careers, raised families, managed obligations, served everyone else, checked the boxes, and kept moving. From the outside, things may even appear fine. But inwardly, something feels unfinished, unspoken, unlived. There is a difference between being busy and being aligned. There is a difference between functioning and flourishing. There is a difference between having a schedule and having a sense of purpose. Begin Purpose exists because many people are not lazy, broken, or incapable. They are simply disconnected from the deeper reasons that make action meaningful. They know how to keep going. They may not know how to come back to themselves. And that is an important distinction. A person can be highly responsible and still feel lost. A person can be successful and still feel uncertain. A person can be surrounded by people and still feel like they have misplaced their own voice. Begin Purpose is built for that moment. It is a place to return to the questions that shape a meaningful life. What do I value? What season am I in? What kind of person do I want to be in this season? What small action would honor that person today? Because purpose is not only about a grand destiny. It is also about daily direction. Purpose is not always a title. Sometimes it is a way of showing up. It is choosing honesty when avoidance would be easier. It is choosing courage when comfort has become a cage. It is choosing health after neglect. It is choosing to create after years of self-doubt. It is choosing to forgive yourself for the chapters you cannot rewrite. Purpose begins where intention meets action, and often, that action is far smaller than we imagine. When we hear the phrase, starting over, we often picture something dramatic. A person quits their job, moves across the country, ends a relationship, launches a business, completely reinvents their life. Those moments happen. They can be brave and necessary. But most true beginnings are quieter than that. Starting over may look like getting out of bed with a different commitment than yesterday, opening a notebook and writing one honest sentence, returning to a dream you dismissed years ago, apologizing, asking for help, admitting that something is not working, choosing to stop speaking to yourself with contempt, deciding that today, just today, you will take your life seriously again. These moments rarely receive applause. No one throws a parade because you finally decided to care for your body. Tell the truth, make the call, apply for the program, or sit quietly and ask yourself what you really want. But those moments matter. They may be the exact moments that redirect a life. There is a quiet power in starting over because it restores agency. It reminds us that while we may not control everything that has happened, we still have a role in what happens next. We may not get to choose every circumstance. We do get to choose a response. We get to choose a posture. We get to choose whether yesterday becomes a prison or a teacher. Starting over does not mean pretending the past did not happen. It means refusing to let the past have final authority over the future. That is important, because many people believe they are disqualified by their delays. They think, I should have started sooner. I am too old now. I already failed once. I missed my chance. Other people are too far ahead. I would look foolish trying now. But life is not only a race against other people. Often, it is a return to alignment with yourself. And alignment can begin at any age, at any stage, after success, after failure, after grief, after burnout, after divorce, after raising children, after losing confidence, after years spent building a life that looked right but did not feel true. The power of starting over is not that it erases everything behind you. It is that it allows you to say, the next chapter will not be written unconsciously. That may be one of the boldest decisions a person can make. And yet, even when we know we need a new beginning, we often delay because we believe we need complete clarity first. We think we need a 5-year plan, a perfect brand, a guaranteed outcome, a roadmap with no uncertainty. But clarity often comes through movement, not before it. We discover what matters by engaging. We find our voice by using it. We refine our direction by taking steps, learning, adjusting, and continuing. A person who waits for certainty may wait forever. This does not mean we act recklessly. It means we stop demanding perfect confidence before taking an honest first step. Purpose is not about rushing. It is about beginning with intention. There is a difference. Rushing says, I need to change everything now or I have failed. Beginning says, I will honor the next small step. Rushing burns people out. Beginning builds people up. Rushing is often fueled by panic. Beginning is fueled by purpose. And when we talk about starting over, that is the kind of beginning we mean. Not frantic reinvention. Not self-punishment disguised as productivity. Not proving your worth through exhaustion. We mean a steady, grounded return to the life you want to participate in more fully. Maybe today's beginning is not a major decision. What have I been tolerating that is quietly shrinking my life? Maybe it is another. What part of me have I neglected that needs attention again? Or this one, what would I try if I believed my story was still unfolding? Those are begin purpose questions, because questions create openings, and openings create possibilities. At the heart of begin purpose is the belief that change is not only about goals, it is about identity. People often ask, what should I do? That is a useful question. But beneath it is another. Who do I want to become through what I do? For example, the goal may be to write a book, but the identity shift is becoming someone who honors their voice. The goal may be to start a business. The identity shift is becoming someone who acts on possibility instead of only thinking about it. The goal may be to rebuild health. The identity shift is becoming someone who treats their own life as worthy of care. The goal may be to find purpose. The identity shift is becoming someone who listens inwardly and lives deliberately. This is why Who Are You Today matters. Because every day, whether we realize it or not, we rehearse an identity. We either rehearse helplessness or responsibility, avoidance or courage, resignation or renewal, self-abandonment or self-respect. And no, we will not get it right every day. That is not the point. The point is that each day gives us a chance to re-enter our own lives with intention. A bad morning does not have to become a ruined day. A bad week does not have to become a lost year. A past mistake does not have to become a permanent definition. You can begin again at 8 a.m., at noon, at 6 p.m., on a Tuesday, in March, at 47 years old, at 70 years old. The calendar does not decide whether your life can renew itself. Not all at once, but in the next decision. So before we close this first episode, I want to offer you a simple practice. Nothing complicated, no big workbook required, just a moment of honest reflection. Ask yourself, what in my life feels ready for a new beginning? Do not overthink it. Notice what rises to the surface. Then ask, who do I want to be as I face that area of my life? Not just what do you want to achieve, but who do you want to become in the process? More honest, more patient, more courageous, more disciplined, more peaceful, more alive? And then ask, what is one small action I can take today that reflects that person? One message, one decision, one boundary, one page, one walk, one application, one honest conversation, 1 hour reclaimed from distraction, one beginning. That is enough for today, because a meaningful life is rarely built in one heroic act. It is built through repeated moments of alignment. Identity, action, purpose, repeat. That rhythm matters, and that is where we will continue in future episodes, exploring identity, purpose, values, change, decision-making, transitions, self-respect, and the daily work of becoming more fully who we are meant to be. Thank you for being here for the very first episode of the Begin Purpose podcast. This work exists because people deserve more than survival. They deserve language for what they are feeling. They deserve tools for finding direction. They deserve permission to begin again, not with shame, but with courage. So wherever this episode finds you, remember, you are not too late. You are not disqualified. You are not required to have the whole path in front of you. You only need the willingness to take the next honest step. And maybe, for today, that step is simply this. I'm glad you're here. This is Begin Purpose, and today is a good day to start.